To go through well this topic, I have tried to define the keywords of this title. It is composed with 4 words, without counting the grammar, the other things. There is a word, universal. Universal means everyone, without any exception. Another word is the word calling. Calling is a word which comes from the verb call, to call. It means that it involves 2 people. There is someone who is calling and the one who is called. That means is God who is calling, call humanity. Another word is fullness. That means something which is full, not half, not overflow. If, for example, you have a glass of water which is half, it's possible to add on. But when it's completely full, whatever you will add, it will overflow. It will not be fully full, something like that. Another word is holiness. Holiness is the habit of being, is a state of the mind. To read it completely, it says, holiness is the habit of being of one mind with God, hating what he hates, loving what he loves. In other words, holiness is a state of being holy, as God is holy, because we will be in the same state like God, as God is in that state. The combination of all these words, it means that God is calling to everyone to the fullness of holiness when you put all of those words together. In order to develop my topic, I have just used one sentence from the notes of Professor, which says, good deeds and duty that go beyond the commandments are considered works of surplus labor. This understanding between a younger rich man with Jesus from Matthew chapter 19 verses 16 to 22. I have used this sentence to go through to reflect together how that fullness of God is calling everyone it can be understandable. I have not only used this one because I remember when we are taking the course of moral theology, Professor also mentioned that to reach to the holiness, the commandments are not only enough. We need to go beyond. Because sometimes we know that when we obey well the commandment, we can be holy. And when we enter through this dialogue of Jesus and this young rich man, you can see that he was not really perfect. He was not fully happy, holy. Because when he asked Jesus, what can I do to be perfect? Means he was considering himself already has done everything. He's already in a state of holy. Then Jesus summoned him using the commandment as we all know them. And he just with confidence estimation saying that I have done all that. That means he was esteeming himself already in a state of holy. But Jesus told him one thing, if you want to be more perfect, which is equally to be fully holy, you can go and sell whatever you have, then you share them with the poor and come and follow me. So that young man, he was not happy. He was sad with the answer of Jesus, which means he was not perfect. If he was perfect, he would have been happy and run and sell everything he has and everything he followed Jesus freely. That means Jesus is using this parable is a comparison to give us a lesson morally. Not that we can say we are religious, we don't have material things, what can we say? So as is a comparison Jesus is using it to instruct us, I have just continued saying, we don't have riches as material, but as is a lesson of morality, the things we can sell for ourselves, there is this pride of ours, grudges, jealous, envious, curiosity, lust, greed, selfishness. Only one will buy this from. I was comparing that riches we have, that those are the things you can sell, but don't take them on the market. No one will buy them from you. Our Lord is just a message to teach us that to avoid those bad things which are in us, then we replace them with love. Love is everything. Someone who possesses love in this world is the richest. You can't have love and you be self-centered to love yourself. Every time you will think others. You will have that self-renunciation, sacrifice. Even if you have something little, someone who wanted to practice. And I used this example of time. Time has end. And if it has end, means it's also created. And we need to share our time with others. Time is a precious gift. We normally say the gift we have, we can offer is our will. That is what we possess. But we possess also time as a gift from God. And there is a song of nowadays. Every time when you tell someone, help me do this thing for me, oh, I'm very busy, I'm occupied. It has become a song. And that time to share with the others, you sacrifice what you were to do, and you think another person. You don't know why that person needs you. Maybe when that person needs you to listen, that listening may console that person, because there are so many people who have riches, but they are thirsty to people who can listen to them. So you may say, I'm busy, and you are closing for the blessings. You are closing the graces which can help you to be holy. Mm-hmm. There are so many things we can use, but if we look around us, these things is making us that people cannot approach us completely. Because if someone comes once, twice, and you say, I'm busy, at the end we will not have that courage to approach you. You are losing that kindness, that sociability. So that is what I have used beside of what you can say from ourselves. Another thing I wanted to use to go beyond of the commandment, I have spent a little bit time to the commandments because they are key, which we can follow, because is God who gave us those commandments. Really, if someone follow those commandments, can be holy. But it's not enough to follow the commandment, because I quoted from St. Francis of Sales. Mm-hmm. This saint, I read once a book. He was explaining there are 4 ways that we can follow the commandment. The first one is to obey the commandment out of fear. Someone is fearing to go to hell, so you are obliged to obey the commandment. Another person is like a sick person. When someone is sick, you go to the doctor gives you the medicine, tells you take like this, you obey, because you know if you don't take, you will not be healed. So Francis of Sales was comparing that we obey the commandment in that case, so out of fear still, but using that example of a sick person who obeyed doctor to follow the instruction, the direction, how to take medicine. Another third one, he said, we obey the commandment just for the sake of obeying. You can follow them. They said, don't kill. I have not killed anybody. But sometimes we don't go deep. Killing is not just to come and cut person and die. Sometimes we kill also morally. You can kill someone for just abusing the identity of a person, you go, you speak behind what is not true. Everyone is looking a person for the image you have spoke. Wherever he passes, everyone is pointing the fingers. So in that way, you have already killed a person morally. In society, they can't compare that person. And you will go there and say, I have obeyed the commandment.
Continue. I need only this update that you mean.
So, and that is one thing. And the fourth way that Francis of Sales is speaking is saying to obey the commandment out of love, that with devotion. That is the way you can obey the commandment. Because if you obey out of love, is from your heart. No one can tell you do this. You do out of will. Even when you do out of love, you know, for example, we obey the commandment of God, but we know God is our Father. If you are doing God's will, you reach to that point, you are like a child, another one is father. Even you keep that property of your father as your own. But if you know is to gain something, you will do because you will get a reward. But when it's out of your will, your love, you have on point, it comes that is already part of you. No need, it's like when you are, I don't know how I can explain it, but when already you practice with the love, already it has become your blood flowing in your body. No one needs to tell you follow this commandment because it's already habit on you, but with love, without these other three parts I have just mentioned. The natural effort of virtue complete true cardinal virtues in theology virtues. This endeavor will be fulfilled in the completion of the person and the community in God's eternity. So here also they are speaking about a natural effort, and they mentioned about cardinal virtues. Cardinal virtues, as we have seen, they are natural, part of us. Even everyone when was born, those virtues we have them. But our natural effort are needed to put them in practice. Not only to have them like this example of these people who have received different talents. The one who went and buried, it didn't bring any benefit for that person. But others, they made out of it the benefit, which means they did that effort to make a production from what they have received. Every day we try naturally to practice whatever we have received from these cardinal virtues. We have just speak prudent, we are going to speak justice as we know all of them, but to have them and to have as a possession is not enough. We need to practice, to exercise them. They are also fulfilled with these theological virtues. So when God, each one is baptized, we receive freely these virtues, the theological virtues, faith, love, and hope, through baptism. These virtues, they contain the special graces which enables us, illuminate us, and they complete this natural one we have. Then together we can work on our holiness. As I have said before, this calling is not only for Catholics. As for us, as Catholics, we believe through the baptism we receive these theological virtues. But there are other people who believe in God in their own way, in their relationship with God. God is the giver of all those virtues. He doesn't give only for Catholics, he gives also for all others, people who believe in him, who have a good relationship with him in their own way. Because there are some people also who practice, like for example, who practice love. Love is a natural. Besides to be supernatural, we receive in those theological virtues. You will see around us people who are using even the charity more than the people who praise, who practice religions, because through the creation, God is himself love, and that love himself in us while we are already created on the beginning of our creation. So someone has already that moral of doing good and avoiding evil. Then we receive the graces of God, his light, to see the things differently. Our awareness of sanctity is increased and our efforts are doubled. When we are using only these natural efforts, we need that complementarity through the theological virtue. Then when they work together, the unity is already strengthened. That is the time when someone morally, when you commit a sin, you feel already disturbed within you. You think for confession, you think to reconcile with your neighbor. All those are already in complementarity of this natural virtue and these theological virtues. The importance of theological virtues gives life for others. They help us to be firm in our relationship with God and our neighbor. We receive these virtues freely from God. They allow us to fulfill the commandment of loving God and neighbor. These virtues, for us Catholic, we believe that we are given through baptism. That was, I was explaining, that we cannot forget the people of other religions, since in this presentation I have already mentioned about the fullness of holiness is for universal. I continue saying, in other words, other people who belongs to the different religion, they have their way of teaching, and on their relationship with God, they receive these virtues freely also from God. He is the giver, and he gives to all of us. Only our relationship is individually. We can all receive all these virtues, but our relationship with God is completely different. The way I make that effort is not the way you do your prayer, your dialogue with God, where you meet in your conscience. So in that case, the efforts you use may be like 90%. Mine is 50, for example. So that relationship means it's differently, is individual. That is what I can say. Our relationship with God is different according to where we use the talents, the gifts he gives us. Because our nature efforts are different, and the way we make use them, it determines our relationship with the giver of those virtues. They contain the graces which enables us to work for that holiness. Sometimes we love God because of what he has given us. But the one who loves well, you love give more than what you have given us. If he has given you something you like, maybe the friends, to have a good quality, you are a person wonderful. In society, everyone needs to be near you. So that one, instead to thank God, to continue to be united with him, you are admiring what people are speaking about you, applauding. That means you are loving what he gave you more than the giver. For the conclusion to this universal calling of fullness and holiness, according of what I described above, the fullness of holiness, no one can achieve it on himself or herself. No one can esteem to have that perfection or fullness of holiness except God, the true and just judge. We have seen example of this young man. So it means we will not be the one who will conclude that we are doing well, we do whatever the church is teaching us, everything. No, we continue to work till to the last breath of our life. And you may say, we have already done, there is mass of God, all that one. No, that is not enough. For example, many people can rely and relax on the mass of God, but even though to believe the apparition is option, but we know through the revelation of Jesus to Faustina, he says that the mass of God are there, but he wants us to go to ask that mercy. Don't sit here and you think the mass of God will just come. No, it doesn't work like that. Like these true cardinal virtues, in theology virtues, this endeavor will be fulfilled in the completion of the person and the community in God's eternity. It shows us clearly that our endeavoring will be achieved in God's eternity. So don't expect the fullness of holiness here on earth. We just work, we will see in heaven. Thank you.